province. This level of consistency reflects strong logistics management, accountability, and compliance with pharmaceutical supply chain protocols. Moreover, it highlights the importance of organized and transparent inventory management practices. By maintaining proper control over stock levels and the movement of goods, facilities ensure the timely availability of products while minimizing costs. Effective inventory management is essential for the smooth operation of the supply chain, helping to prevent issues such as stockouts, overstocking, misshipments, and other errors that can negatively impact service delivery and operational efficiency. Overall, this approach underscores the value of meticulous inventory tracking in optimizing health system performance. For the inventory management, it is commendable that 27 out of 28 SDPs, or 96.43% in the first quarter, maintained a high standard of stock management by updating stock records through various methods such as stock cards, logbooks, or electronic copies. This improved to full compliance in the second quarter, with all 28 SDPs, or 100%, consistently updating their inventory, indicating slight but meaningful progress. In both quarters, all 28 SDPs consistently adhere to the principles of first expiry, first out, or FEFO for commodities with expiration dates, and first in, first out, or FIFO for those without, demonstrating a strong commitment to efficient and proper inventory control. It is concerning to note that 26 health facilities, or 92.86%, experienced stockouts of essential health commodities in the first quarter, which slightly increased to 27 facilities, or 96.43%, in the second quarter. These stockouts affected a wide range of critical items, including medicines for the National Immunization Program, or NIP, such as PCB13, influenza vaccines, hepatitis B pentavalent, MMR, and MR vaccines in some SDPs. The mental health program reported shortages of carbamazepine tablets, as in RHO Arteche. Under the nutrition program, report there were stockouts of vitamin A, 100,000 IU, and micronutrient powder. Additionally, stockouts were reported to all non-communicable disease, or NCD, maintenance medicines. The National Tuberculosis Program lacked the maintenance and the intensive phase, or the FDC2 and FDC4 adult tablets, while the Integrated Helmet Control Program had no albendazole chewable tablets. The Oral Health Package, or Family Planning Program, or the POP commodities only at the PHO, and leprosy, or the MDT Combi, also experienced shortages. The HEMB program under PIDOHO lacked multiple essential items including hyposol, ORS, coamoxiclab, paracetamol drops, lagundi tablets and syrup, loperamide tablets or capsules, and the hyoscine and butyl bromide. Under other unavailable health commodities included calcium carbonate, ferrous drops, cetirizine tablets, sambong syrup, and zinc syrup. Moreover, RH Artache had no available BNB commodities at all. Ensuring a consistent supply of these medicines is crucial for managing and treating chronic conditions effectively. It's essential to prioritize the availability of all necessary health commodities to ensure continuous access to treatment for those in need. It was recommended by the PHPs to the SDPs to include in their procurement the essential medicines, especially the NCD medicines that are consistently out of stock to cater the needs of their patients or clients. However, challenges remain in stock availability and supply balance. Oversupply of the Department of Health commodities became more prevalent in the second quarter, affecting 22 SDPs, up from 16 in the first quarter. A total of 22 health facilities, or 78.57%, reported an oversupply of health commodities. Notably, there is an oversupply or near expiry of several mental health program medicines, including flofenacin decanoate ampules, piperidine tablets, chlorpromazine tablets, valproic acid 250 milligram tablets, olanzapine tablets, sertraline tablets, clozapine tablets, escitalopram tablets, and haloperidol ampules. These were reported in facilities such as Arteche, Balanhiga, Balangkayan, General MacArthur, Hiporlos, Giwanwan, Hernani, Hipapad, Lawaan, Llorente, Maslog, Maydulong, Oras, Kinapundan, Salcedo, San Julian, San Puli, Taft, Borongan City Pharmacy, and the Provincial Health Office. In General MacArthur, Mercedes, and Lawaan, there was also an oversupply of COC pills, although not near expiry. Additionally, Balanhiga, Canavid, Lawaan, Maslog, and Hipapad reported an oversupply of POP pills. Oversupply of the National Family Planning commodities, both DOH and LGU procured, was observed in Borongan City Pharmacy. In Kinapundan, pyrazinamide 500 mg and isoniazid 300 mg tablets were reported in excess. Hiporlos had an oversupply of BCG and MMR vaccines, while both RUTF and RUSF were overstocked in Hernani and only RUTF in Oras. These findings highlight the importance of effective inventory management to prevent wastage and ensure optimal use of resources. Overstocks, especially of near expiry items, can lead to unnecessary losses and strain on storage capacity, undermining the overall efficiency of health service delivery. In both quarters, all 28 SDPs or 100% consistently followed physically separated damaged, expired, or recalled medicines from the rest of the inventory, highlighting excellent storage and stock rotation practices. 8 facilities or 40% were found to have expired medicines in stock or on display during the second quarter. These facilities include Giwan 2, Hipapad, Lawaan, Llorente, Maslog, San Julian, Borongan City Pharmacy, and the Provincial DOH Office or PEDOHO. This marks an increase compared to the first quarter, which reported only 4 facilities with expired medicines. Expired medicines pose risk when consumed beyond their expiration dates. It is crucial for healthcare facilities to properly manage and dispose of these medications to prevent potential harm to patients. The reported incidents of expired commodities warrant immediate attention to ensure proper disposal and documentation of such items. Regular monitoring of medication stocks, adherence to storage guidelines, and prompt removal of expired safety and efficacy in healthcare system. Data reflect high compliance inventory levels, notable strength in documentation, separation or issues with oversupply, and expired stock persist, suggesting a need for continued monitoring and improvements in supply, forecasting, and stock turnover practices. For the use of medicines, disposal, and donations, it is commendable to note that all 28 or 100% of all STPs have maintained robust system for recording dispensed health commodities, reporting adverse drug reactions, and processing medicine donations in both first quarter and the second quarter. This systematic approach play a crucial role in ensuring accurate tracking and medication distribution, timely identification of adverse drug reaction, and efficient management of donated medicines. Such practices are essential for maintaining patient safety, optimizing medication use, and promoting effective healthcare delivery within these facilities. From 27 or 96.43% in the first quarter having a functional system for disposing of medicines, all service delivery points showed full compliance in the second quarter, with 100% having a functional system for disposing of expired commodities. Meanwhile, expired or near expiry commodities procured by the provincial government office can be returned to their supplier. This improvement from the first quarter to the second quarter suggests that corrective actions may have been implemented, reinforcing the importance of continuous monitoring and system enhancement to ensure medicine safety and regulatory compliance. Proper disposal procedures are essential to prevent environmental contamination and ensure patient safety. public safety. The graph highlights the ongoing activities from the first quarter to the second quarter. Notably, the number of facilities with a dedicated storage room for medicines and commodities increased from 23 in the first quarter to 27 in the second quarter, reflecting better space allocation. However, Balanhiga remains the only facility without sufficient storage space for its commodities. On a positive note, some health facilities have separate pharmacy or dispensary and storerooms, which is a good practice. Having a dedicated storage room for medicines helps minimize environmental risks and ensure more organized and efficient inventory management. Similarly, there was a slight improvement in maintaining storerooms that are dry, clean, and well ventilated from 20 or 71.43% facilities in the first quarter to 21 or 75% in the second quarter. Meanwhile, the 7 SDPs who have poor ventilations were Pidoho, Salcedo, Giwan 2, Hiporlos, Hipapad, Borongan CHO1, and Balanhiga. Impressively, 100% of facilities in both quarters ensured medicines were protected from direct sunlight, indicating strong compliance in this critical area. Majority of the health facilities have curtains to avoid exposure to sunlight. Keeping medications away from the direct sunlight is crucial to maintain their potency and efficacy. Stock rooms equipped with industrial thermometers remain consistent in 21 facilities in both quarters, suggesting no progress in addressing the gap in temperature monitoring. However, among these 21 facilities, only a few, specifically Arteche, Balanhiga, Canaved, Dolores, Lawaan, Maslog, Kinapundan, San Policarpo, Sulat, and Taft, were verified to have functional and properly installed thermometers. Others may appear operational but are either uncalibrated or pending calibration. Despite this, a modest improvement was observed in storing medicines under correct temperature conditions, increasing from 14 facilities or 50% in the first quarter to 17 facilities or 60.71% in the second quarter. This indicates that while awareness of temperature control is improving, nearly 40% of facilities still fall short of compliance. Adhering to proper temperature conditions not only meets regulatory requirements, but also demonstrate a commitment to preserving the quality, safety, and effectiveness of stored medicines. On the other hand, a slight decline was noted in the use of cabinets, shelves, and pallets, dropping from 26 or 92.86% facilities in the first quarter to 25 or 89.29% in the second quarter. The three facilities, namely Hernanel, Llorente, and Taft, seem to be facing a shortage of pallets for storing the boxes of health commodities in their stock or storage rooms. This discrepancy in storage capabilities among different facilities could impact their efficiency in managing and accessing health supplies. While this decrease is minimal, it may reflect equipment or resource constraints. Overall, the data suggests that while some key areas show consistent or improved compliance, other aspects such as temperature monitoring and ventilation required continued support and attention to fully meet storage standards. For the storage conditions, all 28 facilities or 100% in both quarters reported that their stock rooms and cabinets were secured or locked, showing full compliance in this critical security measure. This enhances medication security, prevents unauthorized access, and safeguards valuable pharmaceutical supplies. However, a slight decline was observed in the number of facilities with enough space to store all medicines, dropping from 26 or 9.85% in the first quarter to 24 or 85.71% in the second quarter. This suggests that storage capacity remains a challenge in a few areas. The four facilities affected were Belanhiga and Hipapad, Taft due to the delivery of LGU procured medicines, and Balangkayan, where the facilities are currently under renovation. To address this issue, health facilities should prioritize optimizing their storage capacity by enhancing storage capacity and organization. Health facilities can improve their ability to manage medications effectively, reduce wastage, and ensure that patients receive the necessary treatments in a timely manner. Similarly, the number of facilities with an established system for arranging products slightly decreased from 27 or 96.43% in the first quarter to 26 or 92.85% in the second quarter. The majority of the health facilities arrange their products by therapeutic category and per program, while Borongan, CHU2, Borongan City Pharmacy, and Sulat use an alphabetical system. On the other hand, the Provincial Health Office and Llorente are the facilities that do not use or follow any product arrangement system. For functional and well-maintained biological refrigerators, it remained the same across both quarters, with 25 or 89.29% facilities compliant and 3 non-compliant, indicating no progress in cold storage equipment maintenance. The non-compliant facilities were Maydulong and Hipapad, where the biological refrigerators and higher biological refrigerator are under repair, and the Pedoho, which does not have a biological refrigerator, as it does not store vaccines or temperature-sensitive health commodities. Ensuring the stability and effectiveness of temperature-sensitive medications is paramount to maintaining their therapeutic value and preventing potential harm to patients. Meanwhile, preparedness to maintain the cold chain during emergencies remained consistent at a high level, with 27 facilities or 96.43% shows majority of STPs compliant in both quarters. However, the Pedoho, the only facility, do not have refrigerator. They do not need contingency plan. In summary, while most storage condition indicators remain stable or showed high compliance, slight declines in storage space availability and product arrangement systems suggest the need for continued improvements in facility infrastructure and organization. For the action taken and recommendations, for STPs that do not have trained personnel on supply chain management, PHPs provided an orientation on PSCM, as well as remind them to enroll through the DOH Academy for the training on SCM. In regard to the SDPs that do not have LGU provided internet connection in their facility, they were still able to submit the monthly reports using their personal data. For the medicines stored in facilities, the PHPs reminding them on the legal basis for the use of the PNF or in the procurement of commodities. The PHPs also sent them soft copy of the latest PNDF. PHPs also advised them to indicate in their PR the version and date of the PNDF reference used in the procurement. Moreover, for the unavailability of some commodities, PHPs recommended the SDP to include the commonly stocked out medicines on their procurement, especially the devolved commodities or the NCD medicines and TB medicines, whereas the stocked out, the NIP, Nutrition Program medicines, oral health, family package, and the mental health program medicines, the PHPs advised the health facilities to request at the Provincial Health Office. In addition, stock out in HEMB and in the Provincial Health Office supply are advised to request at the Regional Supply Office. For expired commodities, the health facilities are recommended for each proper disposal, proper documentation prior to disposal, and advised to submit the EMRF or the expired medicine report form. For the oversupply of commodities, the PHPs will coordinate with other health facilities in the province and region for the stock transfer. It was also for the facilities with poor ventilation in their dispensary area, it was recommended for them to provide electric fans and or air-conditioned units. It was also recommended to STPs with non-functional and with no temperature monitoring device to procure or to include in their procurement the temperature monitoring device and its annual calibration. The SDPs were recommended to have additional pallets for their commodities that are placed without pallets or boxes, have medicines placed directly on the floor. And lastly, The SDPs with non-functional TCW 3000 and higher biological refrigerator, the PHPs have reported to the Provincial Coordinator of NIP as well as to the reporting database of the Supply Office of the EBCHD. That's all for the province of Eastern Samar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Province of Eastern Samar. So let us proceed to the presentation from the Province of Biliran. Anyone po from the Province of Biliran?
Hello, good morning everyone.
Good morning po, Ma'am Alma Belia. Ma'am, nag-echo po yung audio. Natin. Wala lang. Daw din ako naka-share ng ba't.
Muna na. Okay na. Isang iklik
Yun
sa
natin.
baba.
Ito po mabasa. Ito natin. Natin. Okay na. Okay na.
Okay. Ano pa?
Okay. Dire may naka-open ang mic.
Hello, good morning everyone. Can you hear?
Yes po, Ma'am Padet. Or rather, Ma'am Lolit.
Hello, for the province of Biliran, first, for the Human Resource of Health Directory, for the public health pharmacies, among the eight SDPs monitored in both Q1 and Q2, all have a dedicated person responsible for managing medicines. However, only 8 and 9 personnel respectively have been trained or oriented in PSCM. The 2 SDPs that did not undergo training this quarter are from RHU Biliran. This indicates that the majority of SDP staff in the province who are handling health commodities are knowledgeable in the proper storage and handling of medicine. In Q1, Among 7 out of health facilities had their own desktop or laptop for encoding and submitting reports. However, in Q2, 8 out of 10 facilities had their own laptop. The two SDPs that still face challenges in providing a dedicated laptop for encoding are RHU Kabukgayan and RHU Kulaba. RHU Kulaba also continues to experience issues with internet connectivity. Despite of these issues, all RHUs still submitted their reports on time. All of the health facilities have been improving this second quarter. For the comments and findings, the person at BNB Kulaba is a DOH pharmacist and is also handling other health facilities in the province. No pharmacist yet hired by the LGU. For the recommendation, encourage the LGU to hire a supervising pharmacist for BNB. And for the RHU Kabukgayan and BNB Kulaba has no computer to be used for encoding and submission of reports. Recommendation, the pharmacist assigned uses her own laptop or the PC used for the other programs. Hence, encourages the LGU to purchase a computer for the pharmacy to be used for encoding and submission of reports and to provide internet connection for the health facilities. For the selection and quantification, from the respective LGU remain the same. The health facilities that did not receive their commodities are RHU Almeria, RHU Kabukgayan, RHU Kawayan, RHU Maripipi, and RHU Nabal. The 4 commodities that were delivered were received only in small quantities. This indicates the need for local government to ensure medicine availability at the facility level. In compliance with the PNDF, all 8 health facilities have listed their stocks in the PNDF. Additionally, the RIS documents of all RHUs are properly complied and filed. Overall, the data indicates that most health facilities still have areas that need improvements. For the findings, procurement of commodities by the health facilities annually. Action to taken recommends to deliver commodities every quarter to prevent stock out of commodities. For the request and receipt of medicines, a total of 8 SDPs were monitored and all had complete documents, including invoices and bills of lading. All medicines were received without damage, and all delivery receipts and related documents were properly filed and kept. For the inventory management, however, despite this effort, several RHUs have been experiencing stocks outs due to issues related to the overstocking of certain commodities. This overstocking has led to wastage and inefficiencies in supply chain management. The affected commodities include chlorpromazine, olanzapine, valproic acid 250 mg, clozapine, OPB, and BCG. The presence of expired medicines requires immediate attention, particularly ensuring that these are properly separated and disposed to prevent potential harm to patients. These instances highlight the urgent need for improved forecasting, quantification, and redistribution strategies to maintain balanced stock levels and to avoid both overstocking and stocks out in the future. For documents and findings, stock out were mostly the maintenance medicines like losartan 50 mg, vitamin B complex, mefenamic 500 mg capsule, cetirizine 10 mg tablet, amoxicillin 500 capsules and suspension, and insulin, chlorpromazine tablet, olanzapine tablet, and valproic 250 mg tablet. action taken, inform the health facility about the programs that devolve in the needed of the LGU to procure the commodities. Most of the mental commodities are already expired and filled up in the expired medicine report form. Oversupply of family planning commodities, especially the COC and condom, also mental health commodities in health facilities. Action taken already informed the person assigned in each facility and also the program coordinator and national family planning and the mental health. For the use of medicines, disposals, and all 10 facilities have a system for recording dispense medicines and a functional system for reporting adverse drug reactions for both quarter 1 and quarter 2. ADR monitoring plays a crucial role in ensuring patient safety, and knowledge for potential ADRs helps healthcare providers choose the most appropriate medication. Additionally, all 10 facilities have a functional system for disposing of medicines in both quarter 1 and quarter 2. This indicates that all health facilities have a proper method for disposing of expired pharmaceutical commodities. Such actions are essential for protecting public health, safety, and the environment. For the storage conditions, the graph highlights both improvements and ongoing challenges in maintaining proper storage of medicines across health facilities from Q1 to Q2. The number of health facilities with a dedicated storage solely for medicines decreased from 10 in Q1 to 9 in Q2. Of the 10 health facilities, only RHU Naval does not have sufficient space to accommodate all medicines. Some stock is stored in another room. Regarding ventilation, only RHU Naval did not comply with the proper storage requirements. Their storage area lacked adequate ventilation, relying on a single electric fan, which can harm medicines and potentially alter the composition of drugs and other commodities. All 10 health facilities reported protecting medicines from direct sunlight in both quarters. While most RHUs have industrial thermometers, not all thermometers are calibrated. Specifically, RHU Kulaba needs to replace the battery in their thermometer. The RHUs that have not yet calibrated their thermometers are RHU Kawayan, RHU Maripipi, RHU Naval, and the PDO office is not available for the calibrated thermometer. The number of RHUs maintaining the correct temperature dropped from 8 in Q1 to 5 in Q2. This issue requires close monitoring to prevent damage to medical commodities. The facilities that are currently maintaining the incorrect temperature, including RHU Biliran, RHU Kabukgayan, RHU Kulaba, RHU Naval, and the PDO office and the PHO. Storage infrastructure such as cabinets, shelves, and pallets has improved in Q2. All health facilities now have pallets following a recent delivery made this quarter. For the comments or findings, some of health facilities have pallets, but not enough to their stocks. Some boxes of medicines are placed direct on the floor. RHU Naval, they have only used 1 unit of electric fan but not enough for the area. For action taken, we may recommend for meanwhile to use of improvised pallets to accommodate all sets of medicines in the facility or in the storage room. Advice for additional at least 1 unit of electric fan in the area. Some Some of the health facilities has no industrial thermometer. The other is not yet calibrated. Action taken, already advised to purchase industrial thermometer. For some other health facilities, they must need to calibrate it at the OST so that they can have certificate for calibration. In the second quarter, all health facilities reported that their medicine storage rooms are secure and locked. However, only 8 out of the 10 facilities have sufficient space to store their medicines. The PDOO and PHO lack adequate storage space with most of their stocks placed in the office hallway. All health facilities follow a system for organizing products in their storerooms. In most cases, medicines are arranged by therapeutic category, while others organize them based on the specific health programs. Additionally, 9 of 10 health facilities have functional and well-maintained vaccine refrigerators. This does not apply to the PDO as no vaccine are stored there. Furthermore, 7 out of 10 facilities are prepared to maintain the cold chain during emergency situations, though some still needs to update their contingency plans. These are the RSU Nabal and the PDO Biliran, which have no stored biological. For the comments and findings, other health facilities have their contingency plan but not updated, and also their temperature monitoring are not updated. We recommend to have their temperature monitoring device calibrated. Advise the person assigned to check the temperature regularly and to secure a lock for the TCW. Also, they need to update their contingency plan. That's all for the province of Biliran. Thank you.
Thank you po, Ma'am Lolit, for presenting to us the second quarter assessment of the pharmaceutical supply chain management. So with that, I had sent to you the last query for the participants to answer in our chat box. For those po na kayo makasagot, so kindly type in sa chat box po yung answers po ninyo. So, agenda check. We are done with the PSCM presentation. However, I will be asking a few questions to our participants to look into or to check if whether or not you have some clarifications for with the presentations that was provided to us this morning. With that, I will be sharing to you the wheel of names. So once your name is called, you will have to turn on your microphone as well as your camera if your signal permits you to do so. So we have prepared a few questions to be answered by you. So may I see a raise hand button again so that I will know if naiintindihan niyo po or am I audible po from your end. So yun. So for a while, as I will be trying now to share my screen. Alright, so ready na ba ang lahat? Are you ready? So again, may I request po a raise hand button po muna. Raise hand button, everyone. So on my screen, we are 31 all in all. So minus sa akot. So I should see 30 participants na nakapag raise hand button. So currently, only 20 participants out of 30 yung hindi pa po yung nakapag-raise hand na. Yung iba may 10 pa. So 21, the last person yung makakapag-raise hand, siya po yung unang sasagot sa tanong natin. Okay, so for a while lang, as I am trying to figure out paano siya ma-share. For a while lang po. Ayan, so shared on your screen is the wheel of names. So all of your names are listed. So with that, we will have to check if lahat na po ba nakapag-raise hands. So majority. So there are a total of 20 plus participants who had raised their hands. So meaning nandiyan po kayo, listening attentively to our discussion. So for now, the first lucky person to answer our query is ayan. So wala inilimbong ha, Ma'am Rose. Ma'am Rose, are you in the call from Southern Leyte? Hello, Ma'am Rose. Hello? Anyone from the team?
Hello po, good morning po.
Ayan, good morning, Ma'am Rose. So the
Good
first
morning
question is,
po.
don't worry, kasi trial pa man lang din ito. The first question is, ayan, nag-e-echo. So the first question is, who is our presenter from the province of Samar? Again, who was our presenter from the province of Samar?
Ma'am Marites po. Morales.
Okay. Ma'am Marites Morales. So thank you, Ma'am Rose. And the next question will be answered by ang swerte naman. Hindi ko Marites Morales. Sa susunod na task. Ano ba naman yan? Okay, so as mentioned po sa inyong presentation, you have a total of 20 STPs monitored or assessed for the second quarter pharmaceutical supply chain management assessment. Again, ilan po ba yung assess ninyo for the second quarter PSCM assessment?
Ma'am, ano po? 100% po, 34 is DPs.
Alright, so 100% and it's 34 SDPs. So thank you very much, Ma'am Tess. At yung
Thank you,
tanong na
ma'am.
yan ay tinanong ko din kanina sa ating chat box, and I will be going back to our chat box to check kung sino ba yung tamang nakasagot sa ating tanong. Lang po. Chat box. Wait lang. Ayan. How many service delivery points were monitored by PHPs in Q2? Yung sagot, 26, 32, 34 SDPs according kay Ma'am May. And with that, si Ma'am May po ay nanalo ng here. You have a drawstring from drawstring bag. Pwede niyo ika-price. Nagtuhit inyo generics advocacy if kundi rin yung bet gamiton. So you will just have to claim it. Siguro kung may kumadi ka office or ipakadara na lang naman nila happy daw po. So yun. So congratulations po. Okay, next. Our next is Ayan. Next is participant check. Participant check. Alright. Ayan. Mamay. Is Mamay attending our virtual activity now? Kindly check po. May I request from our host team, pa-check po sa ating participant list kung nandito po ba si Mamay sa ating Webex, rather sa ating Google Docs. Anyone po? Dabahi Ate May, Mamay. Sige, I'll check. Alright. Hi, Ate May, are you there? Ate May, so calling once, twice, thrice, no answer. So, with that, minus sa attendance si Mamay kasi hindi siya nakalook ngayon at natawag siya. So, I'll just remove her. We will have to choose another one. Yan. Maswerte talaga ang ating mga presenter. Ang ating mga presenter ang maghihap-an na pitili the will of me. Swerte niya naman for today. So our second question is, after the presentation of Eastern Summer, Ma'am Glenda, are you there? Hello, Ma'am Glenda. Okay.
Hi,
After the
ma'am. Yes po.
presentation- Yun. So we could hear you loud and clear. So after po ng presentation ng Eastern Summer, sino po yung next province yung nag-present after you?
Again po, ma'am.
After ng presentation po ninyo kanina ng PSCM assessment, anong province yung sumunod na nag-present?
Ma'am, the province of Biliran po. Ma'am
Okay.
Lolet presented their PSCM analysis.
Okay, so with that, tinanong po natin as part of our participant check for the province of Biliran, yung how many health facilities in Biliran who does not have or which does not have a laptop for encoding. With that, may I ask po from the province of Biliran, okay na tayo, Ma'am Glenda? I-cross-check lang natin ang sagot sa
Thank you, ma'am.
chat box. Ma'am Lolit or Alma Bella, Ma'am Alma Bella, ano po ba yung tamang sagot for that question? Anyone po from the two of you to answer the query? Alright, so the answer is 2 according sa chat box, RH Biliran and Colapa daw po. Tama ba? Pagahin kabukgayan at doon sa nakanote. Pero anyway, there are 2 health facilities during the second quarter na assessment na waray daw hardware to be used for the submission of reports and of course to be used for encoding. And with that, the person who were able to answer the query of the chat box, ang unang nakasagot ay si Sir Alvin Sanglado. And with that, Sir Alvin, here is your prize. You have a mouth pad from kanan tao. So, you may claim this here sa office or ipapadala na lang namin sa PIDO. Congratulations. Okay, so ikat lang muna natin dyan, pero ikat lang muna natin yung yung ating wheel of names kasi maraming kinakabahan. Pero ipapagpatuloy po natin yan mamayang hapon. So, I will be still providing you the prizes for those po na mga nag-actively participate sa ating Q&A portion sa ating chat box. So, This is to give due recognition for those who were really attentively listening to the presentation. So kanina, yung unang tanong was, rather yung second, kasi kanina yung unang tanong nasagot naman na, and that was from the province of Samar. So the next question was, questions for the participants. What RHU specific recommendations was given to RHU San Isidro Northern Samar? So with this, may I ask po anyone from Northern Samar to provide us the correct answer? So may it be Sir Denver, Ma'am Madet, Ma'am Hana, anyone from the three of you? So ano po ba yung tamang sagot sa tanong na to? Over to you, Team Northern Samar. Kindly answer po the query. Okay, hearing none from them, pero check ko lang, Sir Denver. Tama po
Hello.
ba ang Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes po, Sir Denver.
RHU San Isidro po should be equipped with thermometer.
Okay, so again, ako, binigyan lang po natin ito. Rather yung answer dito is makikita din naman sa presentation ninyo. So for that specific facility, they should have they should provide their own digital thermometer. So this is one of your recommendations. So with that po, yung nakasagot nito, I see si Ma'am Nicole taga-Sartonga. Ma'am Nicole, your prize is what? You have a notepad courtesy of the Philippine Antimicrobial Awareness Week. Sa may notebook ka na pwedeng pang prize or pang pwede mong gamitin. So with that, papadala ng namin or you may pick it up here at the CHD. So next question, ito na. Next question is true or false. In Southern data, there are 18 health activities who have an expired clozapine 50 milligram tablet. So, sino po ba ang nakasagot? Paunahan din po kasi. May I know, but before that, may I request po the correct answer from Southern Leyte? Anyone po from Southern Leyte to answer the question para maka-edit po natin kung tama po yung sinagot sa ating chat box.
Yes po, it's true.
It's true. True ba talaga? Okay, so the answer here, ulitin natin. In Southern Leyte, merong 18 health facilities who have an expired clozapine 50 milligram tablet. The answer is, so true or false? The answer is false kasi po 100 milligram tablet kasi yung nandun sa report po ninyo. At kinount ko talaga isa-isa yung health facilities. So the answer is false, and the person who answered it first, si Ma'am Abby, yes, pero bumawi naman siya na false. So, for this one, yung nanalo po ay si Ma'am Abigail, and you have the prize. So, may pan-prize ka na, hindi mo para pan, generic campaign. So, this is a bag na always ask for generic bag. So, yun. Pag yung box na tagalite ang nagdaog. Sige, and the last question is, may pa ba? May pa ba waray natin kabaton? Do we still have iron? So question for the participants, true or false? 100% of health facilities in Eastern Samar ensures that their medicines are protected from the sunlight. Tama po ba? So with this, Iniwan po from Eastern Samar. Ma'am Nikki. Ano po?
Yes, Ma'am Jack.
Naghanap pa talaga ng price. With that, so the winner for this one, naglalaban, magsabot na lang ako. Sir Ma'am Abby at 11:02, Sir Adin, and si Ma'am talaga, kayo lang talaga most participative. At dahil dyan, Ma'am Abby, kasi ikaw yung nauna sa screen namin, we're able to answer the correct one. So you have this notebook, Healthy Filipinas by DOH Pharmaceutical Division. So you may, yeah, so yun. Congratulations, everyone. So up next with our activity is the, balikan ko lang ulit ang ating agenda. Alam po. Limitation. Up next with our agenda is the, sandali lang as nagahang talaga. Up next with our agenda is the finalization of the status report for the DOH commodities. So with this, I will be breaking out the room. So, wait lang po ha, kasi figure out pa namin how to break. I will be creating breakout rooms. So, in each breakout rooms, merong two provinces. So, what will happen is, Northern Samar and Leyte, isa pa yung nasa isang breakout room. And then Biliran and Southern Leyte sa isang breakout room. And then Eastern Samar and Samar sa isang breakout room po kayo. So, ang ano po yung gagawin? So, with this, i-comment niyo po as to the completeness of the report ng each of the provinces. So, you will have to take down ano yung mga common na mga findings na nakita under the 3 units of the regional office. So, itong 3 units, these are the family health unit, NCD, and NCD. So, we will be providing you the template na yun po yung susundan ninyo on how you will be able to comment po. Hand output, hand isang province. So, again, I will be splitting the meeting into 3 breakout rooms. So, sino po ba yung magkakasama sa breakout room? That will be Northern Samar and Leyte, Biliran, and Southern Leyte. Eastern Samar and so with that, ipopotent niyo po ano na po, yung naging improvement ng province na yun from their report that was presented to us last week. I think lahat naman tayo ay makapag-attend na ating activities, maybe physically or virtually. So, from then on, makikita nyo kung mayroon ba improvement from their previous report. So, as a review of our agreements last week, napag-usapan po natin na dapat po by Friday, that was July 18, dapat po lahat po ng provinces were able to submit their improved reports. Meaning, ito po yung reports na kanila na po na-proofread na po ba ang mga reports na to? Natama na po ba ang mga templates? Wala na po ba ang mga for validation? Na valid na po ba? Commodities po ba na mga required po na ma-reflect yung unit cost ay nalagyan na po ba ng unit cost? Or talagang na-compute na po ba yung total amount of commodities na nag-expire or yung mga ganun? So, ito po ang ating mga agreement last week, and what is the objective of this activity now is to check, counter-check if whether or not ang mga agreements po natin sa pag-improve ng ating reports ay na-carry out po ba ng lahat ng provinces. So, yun. So, naintindihan po ba? I understood? Were you able to get the instructions? May I see a raise of hand again kasi hindi ko po kayo nakikita currently, so hindi ko din maano yung reactions po ninyo. So, ibaba ko muna yung mga kamay ninyo at magpapa-raise hand ulit ako. Ayan. So, binaba ko na yung mga kamay nyo. Raise hand button po. Kindly click the raise hand button which is beside the three dots under, nasa below portion po siya ng ating Google Meet. So currently, I have 17 participants who were able to successfully click the raise hand button. And out of 30 participants, 20 pa lang yung naka-raise hand button. Nasaan na po yung 10? Paramdam na po kayo. Okay, sige po, 21. So I think majority of you were able to understood my instructions. So in a little while, I will be breaking this session into 3 groups. So for now, we will be pausing for a while for a health break para po ma-prepare ko din yung breakout rooms. Alright, so we will be pausing for a 5-minute na health break. So, while doing so, kami naman dito sa regional office ay prepare for your breakout. Alright, so health break starts now. So please be back by 11:44. Again, please be back by 11:44.